Hey guys, still here and welcome back to episode 20 for the Transport Fever 2 series. The first season, this season is wrapping up. I am spending as much cash as I can, as I'm building a train connection from St. Paul to Thornton to New Haven to Concord, and the next stop is going to be Erie. The final destination will be New York City, which ties all of the larger towns together in a very fast rail network. Well, very fast rail network is in fact still debatable because the trains that I have are not very powerful. The train that I have planned is the Avia Liberty, which has 5,000 kilowatts for power. It is also quite long. I can buy one of these and they take up 217 meters. The problem is they have a mediocre power rating. This one, no, that would be a bit long. This one has a good power rating, but only does 240. Still, I think the good power rating might be more appealing, because this thing speeds up to 240 in 3 minutes. If you compare that to the Liberty, this one spins up to 300 kph in 11 minutes. So, yeah, it is mostly flat terrain. 11 minutes is a bit too long. So I think we're going to go for the Speedness Express. And since I already have one train using this line, I can already upgrade it and see if this is going to work. So this is going to be the Speedness Express. Yeah, this is something new. Ever since the patch, I have noticed how when you upgrade a line, sometimes the game goes poof on your existing vehicle and it just completely removes it. I don't know why, but the train is just gone. I've had this happen with trains, mostly, but I have also seen buses do it from time to time. It is weird. Alright, so this thing is supposed to be able to do 240. Capacity 102 people. Now this is a nice and flat area for that train. 100. 110, 120... At this point, it's already going faster than the hovercrafts, because this can only do 93 at the best. 170? What does it look like from over there? Right, so that's how you're coasting by the town of Thornton. And then it's probably going to start braking very, very quickly, because it has to make that train station without crashing into it. I like the look of this, by the way. I really like the look of that. Let's remove that, actually. Okay, so there's my thumbnail. That's the date, speed. No, I want this. Okay, we have people waiting here. They want to go to New Haven. That we can do, dear sir. Welcome aboard train number 4. What's the load speed? 12. That's not bad. And the initial line used to take 14 minutes. This one takes only 10. Because it's definitely faster. Over here, it has to climb a little bit, but it can still go about 150. Can we get to 200? 180? 190? No, and then it slows down. And there's a good amount of people waiting to go to Thornton. So people want to go back. Alright, let's add another one. As these trains keep bringing in money, or keep burning money, whichever happens first, I'm going to try and get the line connected from Concord to Erie. For that, I will need to do a bit more land shaping, because I want to have my train station over here. And there happens to be no land for that. Now, I could just simply bulldozer a lot of these buildings away, but that's going to cut into the population of Erie, which I'm trying to get to 1,000. So let's just raise the terrain and try and fit in a train station. And right now I know this looks hideous. I will smoothen this later, but for now I'm just using the existing level, so the existing altitude, if you will, existing height, to try and connect the train station here. That is, if I can fit that in. spin it around and around and around. There. Okay, I'll take a medium street. I'm sorry about your buildings. And then the train station. Yes, it does connect up. Alright, with the train station in place, I can now smoothen the terrain. Because that was a really rough edge there. Alright, this should also be high enough for the ships to be able to still pass underneath it. And I will need to tie in a tram station here. There is, as far as I know, there's only one line which is currently going there. That's the suburb line. I think the suburb line might get a whole lot busier after that train is actually arriving in the town. Can you not connect all the stations? No, you can. I'm just not seeing it. Yeah, these things are now no longer moving. After 2, they're supposed to go to 3 here, but they're not. Flatten. Because if you're going to be like that about it, then I'll just put a tram station down. I still don't like that much. Maybe the problem isn't over there. No, the problem is over there. Why are my trams suddenly not moving anymore? Does the tram start moving when I remove that line? Or that state? Oh, sorry, that's the wrong tram. There, now it works. Alright. Now we just have the small issue of getting there. No biggie. Because we have cash to burn. And a farm to get around of. Now the challenge is going to be to try and make this as straight of a line as possible, or to gently slope it, to make sure that I don't really have to slow down much. Please go underneath the farm fields. I don't mind slowing as I'm coming out of a train station. But then this needs to be a really long stretch of straight terrain. Or straight tunnel, rather. And I need to be coming up about after the forest. So say there. That's when we're coming up for air. Okay. Now, how fast can you ascend? Because we're going to ascend from a tunnel right into a bridge. Collision. What exactly is the collision, though? I wonder. Random plane zipping by. Let's see if this is going to help things a little. Nope. Still colliding. I do want a cement bridge for high speeds. Nope, the game doesn't like that. Okay. How about I fill this terrain up a little bit more. And thus allowing the trains to first get some above ground track. And then go for the bridge. Maybe I can appease them a little like that. I'm losing out on a bit of speed there, though. Now, this is going to be a pretty tall bridge. Because I need to make sure that the ships can still pass underneath it. And that bridge is going to get expensive. Really, really expensive. Now, I know there's a lot of vehicles which are currently in a pretty poor condition. So be it. I don't really mind. I mean, sure enough, I should mind, but it's the end of the series. If I were halfway through the series, I'd probably spend an episode or off-camera time upgrading those lines, making sure they have vehicles which actually perform well, and which don't waste a whole lot of emissions. There. It is tied in. Alright, no, I'm not going to set up a cross there. I will set up a couple of signaling. Connect that in. And there's the long tunnel. The long dark part of the ride. Okay. How are we doing here? There is absolutely... Oh, actually, no, there are people waiting here. Ah, you just missed it. You just missed it. Ah, this is an older piece of track. That's why the train doesn't move too fast. Yeah, see, now I have to redo that bridge. Because you can upgrade it to have either electrification or even high-speed tracks, but what you cannot do is upgrade a particular type of bridge. That's unfortunate. Now I am doing this with pause on, otherwise the game is going to figure out that it suddenly cannot reach that next part of the station anymore. And it's going to go all sorts of haywire. So from here, yep, there to here, there. Give me the best bridge that you can. My people want to get delivered to their destination fast. See, now they can get up to 265 to 232 there. That's better. Alright, you may continue. Right, and now the final stop. New York City. Where? Where in New York City do I place down a train station where people can still pretty easily access it? Because I kind of like this bay area, so I don't really want to put it on that line. I could just overhaul this station and have it go out with a loop like that to the north. So I'm sorry, but the train station is temporarily dismantled. First I need to build a big passenger terminus. Yeah. That big. Oh boy. Game. Don't crash. This is going to come at the cost of some buildings. It's the risk when you build your commercial building or industrial building right next to a train station. It might, at some point, decide that it wants to grow. You knew that going in, and now you're just going to have to live with it. Holy shit, that's high. That's going to be quite the climb for that track. That one. And then this one, let's tie that in here. Like that. Now I wonder if the line automatically... Yep, Nashville still picks that up as a viable train station. So that's good, that works. I can, however, make life a little easier on my passengers by ending a... No, by not adding a side building. Well, I can do it here, but... I'm not sure how much good that's going to do. People are just going to have to walk a little bit. Potentially, I can set up a side exit here. No. No, so be it. it is still connected to the tram station. That's the most important thing for me. Alright, so then the last leg of the journey. New York City to Erie. Start off with a pretty wide turn. And don't go all the way down, because I still need to make bridges once I get to the waterfront. Yep. Connect. Why am I going down that much? And now the game is starting to suggest that I need a bridge? I don't think so. It's fighting me a little bit on the terrain here. Whoops. Just use that. I don't want to adjust all the terrain. There. This is also a nice flat area where the train can start to accelerate. Sort of building up speed to try and get across this enormous, enormous water bridge. Or train bridge. Yep, we're gonna go up. We're gonna do that with an advanced bridge. And the best part of this is, all of this construction happens in one day. On March 13, in... Holy shit, that's expensive. 2054. Oh, are you kidding? 70 million? Yeah, no, the game's not kidding. That's 85 million. Oh, buddy. That's really expensive. Well, there's an alternative. Build up a couple of support points. Maybe that will make the train slightly less expensive. Because it now actually has a place where it can sort of land, I guess. So that's going to be a sort of natural support pillar. Nah, that's not getting any better, is it? Ah, well, I have 319 million. It's fine. Okay, so that was the first leg. Now we are once again going right up. Sooner, preferably. Collision! That's the second part. Smoothing this little island here. What are you colliding with? The water? Oh, maybe the whole track is on a downward orientation. I think that might be the problem. The train is going down too much. The tracks here. Yeah, that's it. Whoops. 40 million. The problem is the shipping underneath it. Build my bridge pillars too low, and the shipping cannot pass. Build them too high, and it's going to get too expensive. So we need to find a sort of middle ground. Another 14 million. Why not? 277 million left. But we're almost there. Now, if I do this... Yeah, there is navigatable water, or navigable. But not much. If I just stay at height... I'm not sure if that changes a whole lot. Let's see. Ah, the shipping barely notices anything. It's just that they need to avoid the bridge pillars. Well, if that's everything, then I think we should be fine. if that's the biggest concern. Alright, and that is the last track. Now, that's going to be a lot of signals. You can turn that off. Once you're here, I want you to wait. Okay, now the mega line. After stop number 4, I need you to go to number 5, to number 6, that's the last, that's New York. Then back to Erie, then back to Concord. No, not that, that's a tram station. Back to Concord, and then back to New Haven, back to Thornton, and all the way back to St. Paul. Look at the line of that. I can barely get that on the screen in one go. There, that sort of gives you an idea. Starting there, Thornton, New Haven, Concord, Erie, and finally New York City. Now I need to make sure that they actually use the right tracks. I think they're not quite doing that yet. On the way back, use Terminal 2. Nope, not yet. Might Concord be the problem? On the way back, use Terminal 2. Yes, there we are. And now they're... What are you doing? Oh, hold up. Use Terminal 2. Use Terminal 1. That's better. I had those crossed. And I need to also reverse them on Erie. So use Terminal 1, use Terminal 2. So it's going to Erie. But once it's here, it doesn't want to go anywhere else. Yeah, that's because there is no track. That's a small yet very significant detail. Does this make you happy, Megaline? Yes, there you go. Now it is happy. Alright, so once we hit the Concord... Yep, that's correct. That's correct. New Haven, Thornton. Correct. And we end up in St. Paul. All the way over there. And St. Paul, it splits up as soon as it can. Alright. It is done, ladies and gentlemen. It is done. The huge train line is now in service. It is only going to take... The game doesn't even know what a frequency... Ah, there, 9 minutes. That's actually not too bad. Considering it can get from St. Paul all the way over there and back in 9 minutes. But that's actually fairly impressive. Now, I wonder how many people are going to be making use of this line. Because for all I know, nobody's interested. That's possible. Alternatively, it's quite possible that more and more people are going to actually use this. Because it is cheaper than flying. Well, potentially. Or at least it's a more direct route. Because let's say you wanted to go from New York to Concord. If you want to do that now, you're going to have to go, and that's without the Mega Line. If you want to go from New York to Concord, you'd have to fly to New Haven and then take a hovercraft to Concord. So this is actually a faster way of doing it. Or at least an easier way, because they just embark in New York City, stay in the train in Erie, and get off in Concord. 23 people waiting to go to New Haven, that's unsurprising. And the hovercraft still has some demand, but not nearly as much. Oh, this is problematic. Let's start by replacing all of those, because they're all getting quite old. And then I'll just duplicate these. Ching, Over here, 15 waiting to go to Concord, 12 to Thornton. There's the train. 52 people on, currently. Lots of people waiting for the tram, too. So I might have to upgrade those lines as well. 900,000, just dropping off a few people there. Manage vehicles. Give me a duplicate. The other line is counterclockwise. Everything's counterclockwise. Where's the clockwise? That one. 121? What the hell? Whoa. That's the clockwise line. Oh, oh. Oh. Right. There's only one tram on that line. Yeah, I suppose that would be part of the problem. Give me 5 of those things. New Haven clockwise. 87. Now, something else that I did at the end of the previous episode was send another ship with fuel to Erie. And that's now causing quite a bit of fuel to start piling up over there. So let's add another 2 trucks, I think. Duplicate, duplicate. And that should get me more fuel in Erie. And might still get Erie all the way up to 1,000 residents. There's another... only 63 coming in? There's another almost 150 waiting. These things can transport 376, so I'm not surprised. 44, we're going to go to Concord. 15 to New York City. I think this line is not going to be making a profit just yet. That's putting it mildly. 9 million. It is, however, quite full, this one, train 4. So this one just picked up 100 people in New York. Okay. So where is it going? Because that means that it's heading to Erie first. And hopefully there are some people going to get off, because there's 44 more waiting. What's going to happen here? That's 1.1 million. Okay. So quite a few actually decided... That was 60 people getting off. Quite a few of them decided that taking the train is more interesting than taking a hovercraft. Yep. The demand for the hovercraft is drying up. Now I'm going to add another train over here to increase the frequency, because currently the frequency is every 11 minutes? Yeah. Okay. I'll take a duplicate. So that's 4 trains. That should mean that one's going to depart every, what, 6? 6 minutes. It's going to cost me a lot of cash, especially early on. But hopefully the increased frequency will also make sure that there are more people waiting there. So fuller trains in the end. 242 there. How's Erie? Because it just got a whole bunch more fuel. Not bad. 969. Almost at 1,000. 992 is the record. Expected? 1,003. I think that makes for a nice ending of the season. Still a couple of hovercraft zipping around, but these are probably not going to be too profitable anymore. Their frequency is probably better though. Every 93 seconds. Profitability for this thing? That's quite good. Not so much now though. Only 30 people on there. And over here, they just left, I think. Yeah, the Erie line is not very popular anymore. Sorry, the New York Erie line, I should be more specific. Which is not really that surprising, because this is just a faster option. Look at that, 65.27 to go to Concord. Profitability is still a bit of a challenge, as I have a balance of minus 12 million on this particular line. That is not very good, to put it mildly. Seems to be no lack of demand here, though. 120 to go to Concord. This is, by the way, usually why I don't go for extremely long lines, but just shorter hops. So normally I would have a line from New Haven to Concord, for the reason that I can then more easily fine-tune where people want to go. Because right now there are more people that want to go to Erie than the train can handle. So in this case I would say, okay, I'm going to add another line from, or another train from Concord to Erie. And that makes it far more easy to fine-tune than to do it like this. Now I think you could shoot some pretty pictures from over here. Because you got the planes flying over, you got the ships coming past. I still really love the look of that ship. Look at that. I think they could clean it every once in a while, but aside from that, those smudges, look at that. The town of Erie. It started out so small and they grow up so fast. Well, I say they grow up so fast. Sure enough, they grow up fast, but we are 100 years ahead relative to where I started, because I think I started in the 1950s. Oh, and here's the train. Train 5 with 102 people on. Another 95 for New York City. So I hope for their sake that people from Train 5 are going to get off. Otherwise, you might be waiting here for a bit more time. Look at that. I got a hovercraft, I got my water bus, I got my train. Can I also get a plane in the picture? Huh? Oh, what's that? Oh, okay. Look at that. I was looking for a plane and I found a bunch of birds. A flock. That's interesting. Right, so that's not exactly the plane that I was looking for. I was trying to get a nice, let's say, ending thumbnail for the series. If we just let those things pass a little further, we might be able to get them all in the frame. Oh, we can even get 4 for 1. We can get the water taxi, the hovercraft, the tram, and the train all in one shot. But then you cannot quite get the close-ups that I like to see. This tram, however, does look like it's about to derail. Oh, it's going the other way. That's a good thing. Right, the mega line. 15 million deficit. Yikes. And yeah, as expected. This line is so popular that I'm going to need a lot more trams for the suburbs. Right now I have 2. There's 140 people waiting there. Holy shit. I think I might need to duplicate this twice. Just to keep the amount of people which are waiting to go from there to here happy. And that might again make the trains more profitable. Hopefully. Erie 972, come on, where's my 1000? What are you missing on? What are you lacking? Fuel. Yeah, this terminal is turning out a bit too small for all that we need here. One module will be removed. No, thank you. Oh, that. I can fit that back in, don't worry. He said enthusiastically, but that might not be entirely true. My dear person, I am sorry about your house, but my tram takes priority over your house. Even though you might not see it that way. Upgrades. Can I now also add one more passenger station here? Yep. Hopefully that's going to make the terminals a little easier to use. The suburbs tram can go on terminal 1. The trams claim that they're not using it. This little section over here, but I think they... Well, some of them were. Yeah, the counterclockwise line uses it. The ugly smell of success. Holy shit. Have at least 300 people waiting at a train station. Where? In Nashville? What? Okay. So, apparently people are massing over here. Are you two stuck? You're stuck, aren't you? Whoa! Why is the mega line over here? What are you doing here, buddy? See ya. So we had a train that was just for some reason all the way over there. Okay. Is that the only one? Or do we have more of these weird trains? Because I think that the game selected one of the wrong docks of sorts. Wrong depots. This one's moving. That's train 4. Train 5's moving. And train 7 says, uh-oh, I don't have a free path. Nope, that's because you cannot get to where you need to go. Idiot. No wonder you're costing me that much money, because this train is sitting still for 9 million a year. I need you to go from here to there. Sort of. Where are you? You're all the way over there. Okay, if this train passes, I might be able to get this train out. Screw it. So that line might be profitable. If it wasn't for my trains, which are in a weird position. Anyway, that teaches me to not just blindly trust what my trains are doing if you duplicate them. Because apparently that doesn't always work. Sometimes it might. But I wouldn't be surprised if from time to time you're going to find that your trains spawn in the wrong depot. Because that other train that I had, it just could not get out of there. It did not have a single chance of getting from Nashville all the way over there. Anyway, I got onto this problem by looking at this line. Now that's because one of my trains was not operational over here. I wonder if I upgrade these, would that make more money? Because right now they're pretty slow. These, what are they, Metroliners? What are those things called again? No, that's the wrong depot. Here. Yeah, Metroliners. The speedness expresses that I'm using are a hell of a lot faster. They also have a lot more power. By a factor of... a little over 10. They are, however, far more expensive to run. Maybe just use a couple more Metroliners. Just make sure I have more transport capability instead of faster transport, because they simply cannot get up to that speed. They cannot get to 240. Whereas the trains from this one, from the Mega Line, they can. And I think quite frequently they do. They don't exactly get all the way up to 200, but they're sure as hell not slow. Now, considering I'm paying about 9 million a pop for maintenance for one of these trains, and I'm running a deficit of 12 million, with 2 trains having just entered service, I think I might see a profit on the Mega Line. Oh, my aircraft are falling from the sky soon. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, I didn't even know this was a thing. I can tell where these people want to go. There's 108 waiting to go to New Haven. And there's 71 waiting to go to Thornton. So they actually want to go all the way from Erie, past Concord, past New Haven to Thornton. That's interesting. Let's just let the game run for a bit. Now, how are the trams here doing? Not too bad. How are the planes, though? Yep. As expected, people are picking the trains over the planes at this point. And the planes are now seemingly running a deficit. Because now I only have 104 out of 152 passengers. And sure enough, there are some people waiting here, but not enough to fill a whole aircraft. New Haven to St. Paul? Worse. Minus 7 million. Sure enough, these planes are starting to run more and more expensive because they're in poor condition. 3 million for 737-700. That would normally... if I can still even order those. These things normally run at 3 million. So, lesson learned. If you give people a faster alternative, like, or maybe a cheaper alternative, like a train, they will take it. And they will just sacrifice the airports. I wonder if even any of my airlines are still profitable. Yeah, some. Passengers from New York City to St. Paul. Concord to Stamford. These are cargo lines, these two. This one, no longer profitable. This one, no longer profitable. And Stamford Construction is also not profitable. Was it ever? Yeah, it was. Okay. So I can keep it around. It might be an incident. Come on, Mega Line. Minus 4.1 million. I think this line could actually be producing cash very soon. That is, if I add another train. Because I simply don't have enough capacity on it. There is a train coming out of New York, but it's almost full. Alright. Last minutes of the season. Add another depot and add another train. Speedens Express. Mega Line. So right now they arrive every 4 minutes? 5 minutes. Minus 6.8. Yeah, and this... I think I might get it profitable, but I'm still wondering what would be more profitable, because I might have more profitable lines if they just go from town to town, instead of continuously going in one straight line. Because the edges... New York... Damn cursor glitch. New York on the Mega Line is already 83. But there might not be that many people waiting to go to New York. Yeah, 64. But then again, people coming through this train station are probably already... Yeah, there's already more people on this particular train. Minus 6.5. Minus 3.657. Maintenance tick. Erie. 1010. There we go. 1010, as I had hoped for. Here's a thought. Passenger building. Could I connect that together? Let's not make it too big. There, that's just what I want. Yep, People can also use the counterclockwise and the clockwise line to get to the train station. Instead of having to go on the suburbs line. Suburbs line, which is, by the way, very, very negative at this point. Come on, Mega Line. Minus 9.3. So far, this has only cost me money, this whole project. It hasn't made me money. Ah, well. And actually, it's not just lost me money on the trains. It's also lost me money on the aircraft. Because I don't like it, but these airlines are just being ignored. New Haven to St. Paul, minus 6.5. 27 out of 132 people. Great. 4 people in a seat. Or on a plane. We can just disappear this one in mid-flight. And I had such high hopes for this line. Such high hopes. It was also going to serve as a bit of a prelude for the next series. Because I want the next series to be mostly about trains. And I was thinking, well, I could try to see if this works. I could try to see if people are actually interested in going for this line. But seemingly, yes, there is interest. But they are just not profitable. And that right now seems to be the biggest issue. This line, however, that is profitable. New York City to Nashville. Anyway, guys, with this, I'm going to wrap up the series. Don't worry, Transport Fever 2 will very soon return, if it hasn't already, if you're watching this post-production couple of weeks, with another season. I'm going to be making a season that is specifically more geared to trains, flatter map, more train opportunities, and with that, more train lines, because right now they seem to be more of an afterthought, and that was intentional. I wanted to try the tropical map and see exactly how much I could be making with the ships. And the ships, I think, are still perfectly fine. Sure enough, some of the hovercraft are not doing as much, or at least not as much as they once were, because they now have competition from the train. You know, the Mega Line, which is still running a deficit, that line. But overall, the ships, the hovercraft, they seem to be quite profitable. And I really liked seeing those hovercraft zip around. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed following along with the series. I will once again put the seed for this particular map in the description, so you can find out what map I was using and see how well you get along. Anyway, join me soon for another season, as we're going to be kicking off more trains and seeing if I can do better with that. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I shall catch you soon.